Hello, my name is Aya de León, and I'm an author of books for both adults and children. And I'm really excited today to share um, a little bit of my latest children's book, which is called Equality Girls and the Purple Reflecto-Ray. So since it's the pandemic, I don't actually have a physical copy of the book in front of me. So I'm going to read it from my computer screen, but I want to show you all the cover. Give me a minute to pull it up. So I'm really excited about being able to share work with you because I am African American and Latina, Afro Latina, and this is a book that has four protagonists. You can kind of see them behind me, the Equality Girls. And the main protagonist is Daniela, Daniela Santiago, who's a young Afro-Latina girl, and they are all fourth graders. Okay, so let me share my screen and show you the cover. There we go. So this is the cover, and one of the things that's exciting to me, it says Equality Girls and the Purple Reflecto-Ray, written and illustrated by Aya de León. And one of the things that's exciting to me is that I not only wrote the book, but I drew the pictures. And I had written books before, but I'd never drawn the pictures before. So that was very exciting. So I'm going to open up the book so I can read it. Here we go. All right. So the thing that you have to know from the very beginning of the book is that Daniela is walking home with her friends, and she is really upset because her soccer team got cut, and they got cut because of budget cuts. So she's really upset, and her friend has gum, and Daniela's chewing the gum. Daniela took two pieces and began to chew them, her mouth filled with a sweet rush of double super purple grapey grape flavor, but it didn't really compare to the love she had of soccer. And because she was angry, she chewed hard and fast. The flavor seeped quickly out of the gum. She asked Jaleese for another piece and another, adding each one to revive the flavor. By the time she got home, she had 8 or 9 pieces in her mouth, maybe even 10. "It'll be okay," Carrie said. "Want us to come over?" Malaya asked. "No," Daniela told them and shook her head. "It's Friday," Malaya said. "I could ask my mom if we could all do a slumber party." "Yeah," Jaleese said. "My mom always says it's good to be around other people when you're feeling down." Daniela shrugged. She said she wanted to be alone. Her friends hugged her goodbye, but she just stood there stiffly. The only thing moving was her jaw, chewing the gum. Daniela lived in a second-floor apartment. As she stomped angrily up the stairs, she opened the last piece of double super purple grapey grape gum. At this point, her mouth could barely open anymore to chew it. She tasted a new wave of double super purple grapey grape flavor, but it wasn't the same. As she opened the door, her jaw was starting to ache, and she could only hear the sound of gum smacking in her ears. "Mom, I'm home," she yelled as she opened the door, except it came out, "I'm here." She couldn't even hear her own voice over the smacking sound in her ears. It was really too much gum. She decided to take out some of it to save for later. She bit the gum into 2 pieces and pulled half of it out of her mouth. It was only then, as the smacking stopped for a second, she could hear the sound of yelling. Her mother yelling. Her mother yelling, "Watch out!" Daniela looked up, startled. She saw her mother wearing a lab coat, goggles, and gloves. Her mom was on the kitchen floor wrestling with their dog, Mud. Mud was a mischievous golden retriever mix who had something in her own mouth, something that didn't belong in a dog's mouth, some kind of electronic gadget. It looked a little like a flashlight. Maybe it was one of her mom's experiments. Daniela stood there for just a second with the gum hanging in the air when Mud barked, happy to see her. The electronic thing fell out of Mud's mouth and hit the kitchen floor. The impact of the fall activated the gadget. As Mud ran over to greet Daniela, a laser ray shot out of the device, zapping the gum in both Daniela's hand and mouth. The last thing Daniela saw was a blinding flash of purple and a smell of burning double super purple grapey grape flavor before she passed out. It was only a couple of seconds before Daniela woke up. Mud was licking her face and her mother was sitting beside her on the kitchen floor looking worried. Mija, are you okay? Her mother looked down at her through the safety goggles, her eyes wide. Daniela blinked. Yeah, she said. What happened? Daniela's mom was a scientist. She had been working at home since she lost her job due to budget cuts at the university. She was hoping her experiment would get her a new job. Her mom still looked worried as she explained, I was working on my latest laser project, but I guess I left my door open, her mom said. Mud got in and must have thought it was a new doggy toy. Are you sure you're okay? I'm fine. Daniela sat up. She did feel fine. She wasn't even angry anymore about the end of the soccer team. It was as if the laser had just zapped the feeling away. Where's my gum? Daniela asked. What gum? Her mom asked. Daniela looked around the kitchen. The gum had disappeared. So this next reading is from chapter 2. Daniela and her friends are in the park, and Daniela wants to kick the soccer ball around with them, but her soccer ball is flat. Fortunately, there were 2 7th grade boys in the park. Daniela didn't know their names, but she recognized them from school. They were kicking their own soccer ball back and forth. Come on, Daniela said, and ran toward the boys. Can we play? Jaleese asked the boys as she ran up beside Daniela. Carrie and Malaya came up behind them. Daniela was already taking off her backpack and unzipping her jacket. The boys regarded them skeptically. No, we don't need any more players, the taller boy said. But there are only 2 of you, Malaya said. The answer is still no, the shorter boy said. Malaya began to twist her hair around her finger, like she always did when she was nervous or upset. The taller boy got a mean look on his face. What are you doing? He asked Malaya. Curling your hair? No, she said. See, he said. That's why we can't really let you play, because in the middle of the game, you might have to stop to fix your hair or maybe put on makeup. That made Daniela mad. It was just a nervous tic Malaya had. Believe me, Daniela said, no one is going to stop to put on makeup if we play. There was a cat that Malaya had petted, and it walked up to Carrie. The shorter boy looked over at it. Yeah, he said, too many distractions. If you see a cat, you can't just be like, oh, so cute. He made an exaggerated aw face. Excuse me? Jaleese asked, her voice full of attitude. All the girls knew Malaya was the one who loved animals. Are you saying we can't play because we're girls? Carrie asked. Carrie was the goalie. She was really patient and could sit calmly and pay attention for long periods of time. No, the taller boy said, but he didn't give any other reason. Daniela was getting mad. She was a great soccer player. As captain, she had led her team to the state finals. She practiced all the time. She was as good as every single boy her age, even better than many of them. And her friends were pretty good too, even though they weren't on the team. These guys knew nothing about her crew. They just assumed they wouldn't be good because they were girls. Well, if it's not because we're girls, then why? Daniela asked. The boys shrugged and started to walk away. Hey, Jaleese said, my friend asked you a question. The boys turned around. Look, the taller boy said, if you really want to be part of the game, you could stand on the sidelines and cheer for us. Perfect, the shorter boy said, especially since you already have pom-poms attached to your head. He pointed to Daniela's afro puffs, and both of them thought it was so funny. They laughed with those extra loud ha-ha-ha's that people kind of yell laugh to be mean. Daniela did not think it was funny at all. She got mad, really mad. Daniela could feel the heat in her face, in her jaw, the anger boiling in her brain. When some people are mad, they see red, but Daniela saw purple. It was as if her head was a teapot filled with purple tea that had started to boil. And if you put too much water in a teapot, when it boils, it'll boil over. And that's just what happened with Daniela. Suddenly, she boiled over. The anger exploded and bright purple rays shot out of her eyes. Her friends screamed as the purple lasers zapped the boys in an explosion of lightning. The cat yowled and ran off. The girls gaped, open-mouthed, as the boys glowed silver for a moment, then fell down in the grass. "Oh my God, Daniela, what did you just do?" her friends asked. I don't know, Daniela said. She put a hand on her face, which was as hot as if she had the world's hottest fever, but it was quickly cooling down. And then, all of a sudden, the boys stood up. And they looked sort of like zombies, but then they started smiling, and the taller boy began blinking his eyes and giggling. And then he spoke in a high, squeaky voice. "All I want to do is put on makeup," he said. As he looked around, of course he didn't have any makeup, so he picked a flower and began rubbing it on his lips like lipstick over and over again. Meanwhile, the shorter boy got up, and he spoke in a high voice like his friend. "All I want to do is pet the cute little kitty cat." Of course, the cat was gone, so he took off his sneaker and began to pet it and talk to it. "You're such a cutie wootie." The girls looked at each other. "What just happened?" Jalise asked. "This is crazy," Carrie said. Malaya said, "It's like they became the exact thing they said about us." "Daniela, how did you do it?" Carrie asked. "I don't know," Daniela said. "I just got really mad and then I saw purple." "You didn't just see purple," Jalise said. "We saw purple sort of come out of your eyes." "Is it permanent?" Malaya asked. "Do you think they'll stay like this forever?" She was twirling her hair fast around her finger over and over. "I have no idea," Daniela said. Her temperature was going back to normal. "But it's like part of me is worried about them. Part of me doesn't care. It serves them right." "What should we do?" Carrie asked. "Should we tell someone?" "Tell them what?" Jalise asked. "My friend shot a purple ray out of her eyes and now this boy thinks his shoe is a kitty?" "We definitely shouldn't tell anyone," Malaya said. "At least not until we know more." Daniela didn't know what to do. She looked around, and then she spotted the boys' ball. "I guess we should stick around and keep an eye on them," Daniela said, "right?" What could they do? Daniela wondered. Besides, the boys didn't look like they were in any danger. The one who had been putting on makeup was fixing his hair now. The other one was rocking the shoe in his arms like a baby. "I mean," Daniela said, "we could just play soccer while we wait." Thank you. So that's a little snippet of chapter 1 and chapter 2 of Equality Girls and the Purple Reflecto-Ray. I'm the author and illustrator, Aya de León, and it has been a delight to share this with you. Thank you.